Hey, thanks for stopping by. So today we have Mace Designs Dice showing us how to create a two-part mold from start to finish using our amazing mold maker.
I'm going to go through and show all the things that you need in order to do my process of mold making. First, you're going to need a mold housing. You're going to need contact paper works, but you can also use pre-cut transfer paper or anything of the like. Simple Sharpie or any permanent marker. I use rhinestones as my face caps, and those are how my molds the lids don't shift. Part of it. Pair of scissors. Cuticle trimmer. You can get these right on Amazon in little packs. A petroleum jelly of some sort, doesn't matter what brand, and you will need a dedicated brush for this. You will need a baby powder, any brand will do, doesn't matter. You will need whatever you're gonna mold. For dice makers, it's our masters. A hot glue gun. That'll be for sealing your molds. The most important part, obviously, is your amazing mold maker. So, the first step that I do is I take the petroleum jelly and I get a bit on my brush like this, and you just brush it along the insides. You don't want too much, so this will mostly spread around almost all of it, that little chunk that I got. Okay, make sure we don't overdo that side, and then we'll just... And then we are going to do that to all of them. Just so you know, what the Vaseline does is makes it to where the mold housings are easy to get off at the end. The next part is going to be creating and cutting out all of the bases that we're going to put our masters on. Do this, and then I'm going to do this 2 more times because I have 3 of these total. The outline doesn't have to be absolutely perfect because you are going to cut a little wider than the actual outline. And then I'm going to do that for all of our molds, and then I'll be right back. Cut these out, all just a bit bigger than the outline. So you'll see, and we'll trim these edges down a bit just so they don't take up as much room on our trays. So you'll do this, and then you'll peel the back off. Try your best not to get a wrinkle in there. And then this is going to go face up like this. And you're going to set your mold right in that line that you did. Just like that. Now that we have the paper in there, you're just going to go around the edge with your hot glue gun just to seal it in, just in case anything tries to leak out. Just a simple little seal, nothing crazy. Then we'll start taking our masters. We're going to lay them out inside. Whatever you want to be your top of your mold, you're going to want to make sure is aiming up inside this part of your mold, because you're going to be pouring down, so that's going to be your top. Breeze through this. I'm going to place these in there to make sure the lids don't move around when we get to that point. I like to do at least 4. Sometimes I'll have to move things just to make sure I get it in there good. Again, we're going to do this with the rest of the mold housings. Once they're all set up, it's time to mix up your stuff. Alright, in order to do all of these, I am going to be mixing up about 800 milliliters of silicone, which means 400 each. I always pour white first because it's easier to tell when everything is mixed, which when we start stirring, I will show you exactly what I mean. We are going to mix this for about 90 seconds. Now you can see on the sides how it's really white, but once we do that, it gives us a much better indicator of how well mixed everything is. Make sure to get in the spout. Silicone doesn't give you a lot of time to mess around, but that's good because it also gives you a really quick turnaround on your mold making. I like to go all around the dice as I'm pouring, and then I'll speed up my pour once I'm over the dice so that they have some cushion at the bottom. Now you're going to load up your molds into whatever rack or whatever you have that goes into your pressure pot. Crunch sides together, pull down into your pot, tighten your pot up. And then just pressurize your pot. I like to leave them in for an hour just so that they're nice and set. Now you have your thing molded. I'm gonna peel this off. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna trim the edges. So you have all the nice clean edges now. You'll do the same to the bottom. Now the next thing you want to do is get all these little guys out. So now you're going to take a Sharpie and you're going to cut a few in each side. Next stage will be baby powder. I give it a good smack to get the extra out, and then I'll go in with my brush and just make sure that there's none trapped in the numbers. Once it's all clean, you're just gonna get it back into the mold and go take care of all the others. The final demolding. Now you're going to trim the top. With that, you have your completed mold. At the end, rub it all down with a bit of powder. And then we will just